Ohai. Mosquitoes, the state in East Africa. It is located in the Indian Ocean in a northern part of the Mozambique Channel between northern Madagascar and northern Mozambique. The area -1862 km. With the island Mayotte -2235 km. The population -846,281 persons. 2020 without Mayotte, with her more than card people. Mainly the people Comoros or Anantiloatra. The capital, the city of Moroni. Official languages, Comorskia. Related to Swahili language. French and Arab. The state religion, Islam. The name of the state happens from the Arab. Al-Qamar. What is meant by moon? The European geographers since the 2nd century, since Ptolemaios' works, represented fictional lunar mountains on maps of Africa. In process of studying of the continent, the location of these mountains was displaced further and further to the south. So proceeded till the 16th century, until the Portuguese seafarers opened islands and accepted their Arab name, Jazir al-Qamar. Lunar islands, that is connected with the cult of the moon occurring in this area. Subsequently, the image of the moon was placed on an official flag of the country. Fixing of the name Comorsky, that is, lunar. Islands in the European use was promoted by the old myth about lunar mountains. In the Arab sources, the Comoro Islands often were called as small lunar islands, unlike Madagascar, which was called as the big lunar island. This state is located on the volcanic archipelago of Comoro Islands, including 4 main islands. Islands Ngazisha, Great Comoro, Nzuani, Anjuan, and Mavali, Mokele. Actually make the Union of the Comoros, and the island Mayotte actually has the status of the overseas region of France, but the Union of the Comoros applies for him. The highest point, an active volcano of Kartal, 2361 m. Islands Gorist are surrounded with coral reefs. The climate is tropical, damp and hot. Rainfall from 1100 to 1300 May a year. The top parts of slopes of mountains are covered with dense tropical forests, savannas and shrubby thickets are located below. All the year round there is a danger of infection with malaria. Vegetation is presented by a sugar cane, a coconut palm, banana, a coffee tree, a carnation. On Comoros, one of the most rare animals on Earth, a fruit bat of Livingstone, meeting on only 2 islands, lives. Judging by results of archaeological excavations, the island Anjuan was populated in the 5th century AD. In the 12th century, the archipelago got under the power of the Sultanate of Kilwa, created by Arabs on east coast of Africa, the territory of modern Tanzania. For the first time, islands are described in 1598 by the Dutch traveller K. Hatman. The attempt of the Portuguese going to India to locate on islands in the 1610 years failed because of repulse of locals. After disintegration of Kilwa, there were numerous sultanates conflicting among themselves here. Influence of Islam spread by natives of Shiraz, Persia, increased. From 1600 years, the second wave of settling of islands by natives of Africa, the countries of the Arab East and the island of Madagascar began. The archipelago was also a haven of pirates who brought the captivated Indians and Chinese here. In 1785, for the purpose of taking of slaves attached from Madagascar, because of what at the beginning of the 19th century the island Mayotte practically became deserted, were made, and together with the island of Mokele it was controlled by governors of Madagascar. In 1841 France occupied the island Mayotte, and since 1843 it became her protectorate. In 1886-1892 protectorate over islands Anjouan, Great Comoro and Mokele is established. Since 1909 the archipelago is officially announced by the French colony, and in 1912 in the administrative relation is attached to Madagascar. Forms of colonists were based on cultivation of vanilla, carnation and coffee. The local elite closely cooperated with colonial administration. After occupation by the British troops during World War II, according to the new Constitution of France, in 1947 her status of the overseas territory was received. In 1957 Government Council. In 1961 it was headed by the native of the country Sam. Sheikh. Is founded in 1961. The elected Chamber of Deputies is founded. The local government, except questions of finance, defense and external relations, is entered since 1968. The administrative center in 1968 was transferred from the city of Mamoudzou, Island Mayotte, to the city of Moroni, Island of Great Comoro. The administration was headed by the High Commissioner. The first political organizations representing different groups of the Muslim aristocracy arose in 1962. The Democratic Union of the Comoros, the ESCO, is created by SM. Sheikh, so-called Green Party, Party of the Highest Public Servants, and the Democratic Association of the Comorski People, DOC, which received the name Party of White or Party of Princes. In 1963 the Comorski community in Tanganyika created the Movement for the National Liberation of the Comoro Islands, Molinako, recognized by the OA, the leader of the National Liberation Movement on Islands. His office, Party of Evolution Comer, Beck, operated on the archipelago since 1970. In 1972 on the island of Great Comoro, the Party of the People, ALMA, is created. On a referendum on independence, December 1974. Most of inhabitants of the archipelago spoke positively. From them, 96% of inhabitants of islands Anjouan, Great Comoro and Mokele voted pro his separation from France, and 64% of the population of the island Mayotte contra. On July 6, 1975 the local Chamber of Deputies unilaterally proclaimed the independent Republic Comoro Islands, RICI, controlling 3 islands, Anjouan, Great Comoro and Mokele. The chairman of Government Council Ahmed Abdalak became the president. This council was abolished, created parliament, the constitution is adopted, and the Arab names of islands are restored. In November, 1975 Comoro were admitted to the Union as a part of 4 islands as the uniform state. France, having recognized independence of Rico, unilaterally assigned the status of the territorial unit to the island Mayotte. As a result of a bloodless coup on August 3, 1975, Ali Swalik, who proclaimed a course of so-called National Socialism, came to the power. Nationalization of large land possession and the property of the French colonists sent from the country, introduction of planning in economy, cancellation of operation of laws of Sharia and restriction of influence of Muslim clergy, dissolution of political parties. The anti-Islamic orientation of policy of the government led to a situation destabilization in the country. FCO appeared in the conditions of the international isolation. In May 1978 there was a new revolution headed by the French mercenary Bob Denard. Ali Swalik is killed, the power passed to a Abdelak again. Activity of administrative facilities, the private French and local companies is resumed, the earth is returned to large owners, foreign investments were encouraged, diplomatic relations with France are restored. According to the Constitution of 1978, the country is renamed into the Federal Islamic Republic Comoro Islands. Verchi. Parliament in Federal Assembly, and Islam is announced by the state religion. After introduction of a one-party system. 1979. By the only party became the ruling Comoros Union for Progress. Udzim, it is created in 1982. On December 6, 1979, the United Nations General Assembly recognized behind the state of Comoro Islands of the right for the island Mayotte. The authoritativeness of the regime of a Abdelak re-elected in 1984. 99% of voices. And suppression of any opposition views led in November 1989 to a revolution during which he was killed. Presidential elections of 1990 took place in multi-party system conditions. 14 legal parties are created. Said Mohammed Jawhar. 55.3% of voices. Was elected the president. Constant confrontation of parties promoted the new revolution in September 1995, which is carried out by foreign mercenaries. In 1996-1998 the presidency was held by Mohammed Taqi Abdulkarim. The new constitution. 1996. Fixed existence of multi-party system and Islam as the state religion. After death of the president, this post was held by T. Massoud. Deterioration in an economic situation, including because of falling of the world prices for vanilla and a carnation, and separatism. Declaration unilaterally of independence as islands Anjouan and Mokele in 1997. Destabilized the situation in the country. As a result of a military coup on April 30, 1999, the Colonel Azali Assoumani came to the power. In 2001, government troops prevented attempts of military coups on islands Anjouan and Mokele. After holding on December 21, 2001 a referendum, the new constitution granting to islands wider autonomous rights is approved. The country began to be called the Union of the Comoros. At presidential elections on April 14, 2002. Postponed several times and succeeded to 2 rounds. I defeated A. Assamani. In March-April of the same year, presidents of islands Anjouan and Mokele are elected. The opponent A. Assamani A.S. Elbek, 63% of voices, is elected the president of the island of Great Comoro in May 2002. Under the Constitution of 2001, Comoro keep claims for the island Mayotte, including him an integral part and one of 4 autonomous islands of the state. The island of Anjouan shows separatist sentiments and even declared creation at itself an offshore zone which wasn't recognized by authorities. Republic. The President Azali Assamani, in a position since May 26, 2016. Under the Constitution of 2001, the President of the country is elected for 4 years, before acceptance on the constitutional referendum. English. Russian corresponding changes of candidates represented in order of priority each of 3 islands. In 2002, Azali Assamani with Ngazishi. In 2006, Ahmad Abdallah Sambi with Nzuani was chosen as the president. He is the current president. Parliament -33 deputies, from them 18 are elected by universal suffrage, 15 assemblies of 3 islands, for 5-year term. Armed forces of the Comoro Islands consist of small regular army and police in 500 people and also 500 decks of forces of defense. The contract on mutual defense with France provides naval forces for protection of territorial waters, training of the Comorski military personnel and air observation. France keeps several senior officers in the government of the Comoro Islands. France a small sea base and group of a foreign legion. Glem. On Mayotte. Expenses on armed forces. 1,500 people. Made 3% of DDD. For 2002. According to the existing Constitution of 2001, the Union of the Comoros consists of 4 autonomous islands, including more. Mayotte. Under control of France. Actually, Comoro include only 3 autonomous regions. Island. Corresponding to the largest islands on which 16 prefectures are located. According to a population census of 2012, the population of the country was made by 724,294 persons. Without Mayotte, with her about 936,900 people. Annual gain -8492. 2021. Average life expectancy -64.2 years. 61.8 men, 66.7 women. Ethno-racial structure. Anantalawatra. Metizes of the Afro-Arab Malagasy origin. More than 95% Makua. Blacks to Abo. -1.5%, Arabs -0.5%, Malagasys -0.5% and also Persians, the French Indians on 0.2%. Languages. Official Arab and French, most of the population speaks Comorski language. A Swahili branch with big impurity of Arab. Religions. Generally Sunni Muslims, a small number of Shiite Muslims, the French and a part of Malagasys, Catholic Christians. See Catholicism on the Comoro Islands. Literacy level among male adult population is 81.81%. People. Among women's -73.72%. 192,608 people. Mosquitoes, one of the poorest states of the world. DDD per capita in 2018, $788. The 168th place in the world. It is lower than the level of poverty, -60% of the population. Natural resources are insignificant, low skill level of labor, big growth of the population, strong dependence on the foreign help. The country doesn't provide itself with food. Rice, the main food product of Comoros, occupies the main share in import. The government tries to increase the level of literacy and labor qualification, seeks to privatize the commercial and industrial enterprises, to improve healthcare, to develop tourism, to reduce growth of the population. Agriculture. 40% of GDP, 80% working. Vanilla, carnation, yang, copra, cocos, bananas, cassavas. Tapioca. Fishery. Industry. 4% of GDP. Perfumery and processing of agricultural raw materials. Services industry -56% of GDP. Export in 2017. $74 million. Carnation. $41.1 million. Essential oils. $14.4 million. Vanilla. $13.1 million. Etc. The main buyers: India. 33%. France. 20%. Indonesia. 13%. Germany. 8.8%. And the USA. 6.9%. Import in 2017. $296 million. Textile goods. $80.7 million. Products of livestock production. 26.7 million $. Including fowl. $15 million. Products of crop production. $24.1 million. Including rice. $18.5 million. Machines and equipment. $23.9 million. Furniture. $22.9 million. Etc. The main suppliers: Tanzania. 30%. China. 22%. France. 11%. Pakistan. 7.9%. India. 6.6%. The Act enters into the International Organization of the Countries. Extent of highways -230 km. There are no railroads. Through the airport in Juji, regular flights to Madagascar, Reunion, to Kenya and on islands of the archipelago are made. Seaport in Longoni. Users of mobile communication -people. The 173rd place in the world. Internet users minus 5.1% of the population of the country. The 168th place in the world. The state broadcasting company ORT. Management of radio and television Comoros. Includes Radio Comoros radio station and ORT TV channel. Also far. Write comments. Read comments. Interesting people will tell interesting stories. All of good mood and good luck.